So we've taken a first basic look at some I/O. So what we're going to do next is look at a faster, albeit less accurate way to set our in and out points, which is more suitable when working in the first assembly. Now, in the list view here, I don't get much of an indication of what my footage is unless I double click it and open it up in the source viewer. But I can click this icon up here, the 6 small white squares, and here I get the icon view or the thumbnail view. When I activate the thumbnail view, I can actually preview these clips just by mousing over them. There's a zoom bar at the top here, and I can click and drag this to the right to zoom in. And what I can actually do is I can set my I/O just by mousing over these icons and using the I and O keys. I don't necessarily have to double click and open these clips up in the source viewer. So let's take a look at doing this. I'm going to find a rush that I want to mark. Here we go. And all I do is I mouse over it and I can hit in or I, and that places an in point. I can then mouse again and hit O, and notice we get 2 thin grey lines on this icon. They are representing which parts of the clip are selected, if we imagine the whole clip is a timeline. Now I can just drag down and I have the selected edit ready to be placed on my timeline. So if we're going through and we're doing a very quick, very basic first assembly, I can just I/O and drag in like this and start building up my first assembly that way, should I want to work more with the mouse. Like I said, the keyboard is the better way to work, but this is a nice option to have. The last thing we're going to take a look at for I/O is how we do basically this, but when we're working in the list view. So this is the list view icon. It's the 3 white bars by the 3 white dots. And I'm going to click that and get back in to list view. I'm going to click to select an item, and then I'm going to click on these 3 dots up here. Wherever we see these 3 dots, these are the additional options icons, and we can click and we can choose different options here. I am going to left click on show film strip. Now the film strip works just like the icons that we saw earlier. I can mouse over and then I can set an I/O using just the mouse. I don't necessarily double click to open up over here. So I can then I/O, and then I can F7, F9, beg your pardon. And then I can go down here and I can I/O, F9. So I can use this film strip to very quickly make I/O selections, and the keyboard will obey me as though this is currently active in my source viewer. In actual fact, it is temporarily open in the source viewer as long as we're mousing over like this, but when we mouse off the film strip, it goes back to whatever we last double clicked. So this is a really nice way of making an I/O selection very, very quickly. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but it's there, and it can be quite helpful in kind of pulling out a first rough edit right at the start of the project. So go ahead and have some proper practice with everything we've covered regarding 3-point editing, and then click on through to the next lecture once you're ready.